A very good day, everyone, and especially to Ichi and Pinata. Today, we're going to present about waste management and recycling, and we are from class GM4A. So there are three members of us, including me. First of all, let me introduce myself. So I'm Rashid Kumaran, and my number matrix is 09TEM23F1026. And my other fellow members are Haria and Michelle. So let's move on to the introduction. So what are the green technology? Green technology spans like a wide range of sectors, including the energy production such as solar and wind power, sustainability and agriculture, waste management and eco-friendly transportations. It emphasizes innovation that reduces emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, and energy consumption while improving efficiency and operational performance. Like as an awareness of climate change and environmental degradation grows, the green technology has emerged as a key focus for both governments and industries. So it's not limited to be single invention or solution. Rather, it's a collective approach involving multiple technologies and practices that contribute to sustainability futures. So let's look on to the what is waste management and recycling. Waste management is the process of collecting, transporting, treating, and properly disposing of waste to protect the environment and public health. It deals with all the types of waste, solid, liquid, gas, or hazardous that comes from homes, businesses, and industries. Traditional methods like landfilling and incinerations have caused issues such as pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. Today, waste management focuses on safer, more sustainable methods supported by the rules and regulations to reduce harm to the planet. So let's look on to the recycling. Recycling is very important part of the waste management that tends to waste material into a new usable products instead of throwing things away. Recycling helps save natural resources, reduce pollution, and cut down on energy use. It encourages us to see waste as something useful, not as just garbage. By reusing materials and keeping them in the production cycles, recycling supports a more sustainable and eco-friendly future. So let's move on to the next slide, which is we talk about mainly on problem statement. So problem statement are, first of all, is the inefficient waste collection systems. In many cities, especially in developing countries, waste collection is irregular, incomplete, or poorly planned. This often leads to waste being dumped in open areas, streets, rivers, or burned, all of which harm human health and the environment. Poor waste collections can be due to lack of trucks, manpower, funding, or planning. For example, according to the Tyler packaging, inefficient systems can lead to up to 50% of waste not being collected at all in some cities. In areas like Kuala Lumpur, studies have shown the households lack proper bins and collection schedules, leading to overfilled public dumpsters and illegal dumping. This increases the risk of diseases and worsen visual pollution. And let's move on to the next problem statement, which are rising greenhouse gas emissions from landfills. When organic waste such as food, paper, or garden waste end up in the landfills, it breaks down anaerobically without oxygen. Anaerobically meaning without oxygen. So producing methane gas, a greenhouse gas 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. This makes landfills one of the major contributors to climate change if not managed properly. So, for example, the MDPI journal highlights that landfill in cities like Dhaka, Bangladesh, are major emitters of methane due to the large volume of organic waste and lack of proper treatment systems. Without composting or biodigesting technologies, these problems continues to grow. So let's move on to the next point, which is lack of public awareness and participations in waste management. So for this, public cooperation is essential for proper waste separation, recycling, and responsible disposal. However, in many regions, the public lacks knowledge about sustainable practices and the harmful effect on improper waste disposal. This leads to increasing littering, mixing of hazardous waste on household trash, and low recycling rates. So we take an example. We found that in the study in Malaysia from in the UKM journal, it shows less than 40% of people had proper awareness of solid waste management practices with an active community involvement. Even a very design waste system fail because people don't follow such rules, and it makes them to separating recyclables or avoiding plastics overuse. So lastly, we move on to the inadequate infrastructure, which is effective waste management requires proper infrastructures like landfill that meet environmental standards, composting and recycling centers, waste to energy plants, and efficient transport networks. In many countries, especially in rural and rapidly urbanizing areas, such as infrastructure is outdated, insufficient, and completely lacking. So, for example, research on the hard rubbish to go website. So we found that many regions face issues like in the poor road access for waste trucks, insufficient landfill space, or no sorting or recycling facilities. For example, in Dhaka, this waste from industries is mixed with general waste due to the lack of special disposal facilities, leading to toxic contamination of soil and water. So let's move on to the next slide, which is engineering responsibility-based management and recycling. Okay, let's look on to the first point, which is environmental stewardships. First of all, engineers must design a waste solution that prevent pollution, conserve resources, and safeguard ecosystems. For example, engineers can design a landfill with little corrections and methane gas recovery of the pollutions and capture energy. So let's look on to the next point, which is waste management system and design. So for this, engineers must develop an efficient system for waste collections, transport, sorting, and disposal. For example, to create IoT-based smart bin systems that allows waste collectors when bin are full, reducing fuel usage and optimizing the routes. Let's look on to the third point, which is recycling process optimizations. Engineers must enhance recycling by using advanced sorting technologies to increase recovery and reduce contaminations. For example, like installing fire sensors in recycling plants to accurate sort plastics such as PET, HDPE, and reduce waste going to landfill. So lastly, we look onto regulatory compliance and ethical responsibilities. Engineers must follow and ensure that the waste management systems comply with the environmental law and ethical standards to protect communities and ecosystem. For example, like ensuring e-waste is handled by the certified recyclers rather than illegally dumped or exported. So that's all from me. Thank you. Now I'm going to pass over to Alia.
My name is Nurana Naziha binti Kamarajaman. My metric number is F1901. And I will continue with the right and privilege of a professional engineer. So, for the rights, as a professional engineer, they have a right to practice. They also have a right of recognition. They have a right to a confidentiality. And lastly, they also have a right of professional liability insurance. Moving on to the privilege. Here they have, as a professional engineer, they have a few of a privilege such as a supreme honor, increased job certification, internationality mobility, increase and earning potential, also can enhance a career prospect, and lastly, they also can get a title and designation.
Terima kasih kepada Alia. Nama saya Nazla binti Abdul Rauf, nombor metrik 09 DEM23F1024. Jadi saya akan teruskan dengan slide seterusnya bagi soalan yang ketiga, iaitu Sustainable dan Green Technologies bagi Waste Management dan Recycling. Saya letak dalam slide ni dalam 5 jawapan, iaitu yang pertama kita ada Waste Reduction Technologies dengan dia punya tujuan dia bagi minimize waste creation from the source. Yang pertama kita ada Smart Packaging. Smart Packaging ni kita gunakan iaitu biodegradable, edible or reusable packaging. Maksudnya kita gunakan packaging yang senang nak diurai. Dia bila kita buang, nanti dia cepat terurai sendiri. Yang kedua kita ada digital waste tracking, iaitu IoT system to track and manage waste generation. Maksudnya dia boleh IoT ni boleh kesan waste masalah waste ni lah. Okay, kita pergi yang kedua iaitu recycling technologies, iaitu untuk convert waste into new usable material. Seperti yang pertama kita ada chemical recycling, iaitu breaking plastic into raw chemical. Maksudnya kita ubah satu plastik tu menjadi satu bahan chemical yang baru. Yang kedua kita ada mechanical recycling bagi physical breakdown material like shredding plastic dan reshape them. Maksudnya kita bentukkan balik dia punya material yang lama. Seterusnya kita pergi kepada waste sorting and collection technologies. Ini untuk improve accuracy dan efficiency in waste collection. Yang pertama kita ada automated sorting machine. iaitu AI power machine to separate material. Maksudnya macam kat sini contoh kita masukkan dalam satu tong sampah. Dia satu tong sampah tapi dia ada 3 bahagian lain yang diseparatekan oleh AI. Yang kedua kita ada smart bins. Okay, bins ni with sensor that alert when full or auto. Maksudnya dia dah bila satu tong sampah tu dah penuh. Jadi dia akan auto sendiri dia buang sendiri ataupun dia tolak tepi. Okay, kita teruskan kepada yang keempat iaitu waste to energy WTE technologies. Iaitu untuk generate energy from waste material. Nak tukar energi daripada bahan-bahan yang dah waste. Iaitu kita ada biogas production untuk organic waste into methane for food. Yang kedua kita ada pyrolysis ataupun gasification untuk turn waste into gas or oil with minimal emission. Maksudnya daripada bahan-bahan terbuang tu kita tukar kepada gas atau minyak. Yang kelima, yang terakhir iaitu kita ada circular economy platform iaitu untuk keep resources in use, reduce overall waste. Ini selalunya untuk satu-satu company lah ataupun community bagi kita. Yang pertama kita ada material exchange platform. So untuk company ni dia share surplus material. Dia share. Dalam satu bahan tu kita share untuk elakkan daripada pembaziran. Lepas tu kita yang kedua, yang terakhir kita ada zero waste initiative. Maksudnya bagi community lah. Community masyarakat kita ni kita pergilah program macam pasar reuse ke recycle ke untuk elakkan pembaziran yang lebih. Okay. Ini adalah slide saya iaitu conclusion. Conclusion adalah in conclusion engineer have an improved job in managing waste and recycling by creating safe and smart system to protect the environment. Maksudnya engineer ni dia ada tugas yang penting lah. Bukan setakat macam bina-bina bangunan, bukan. Dia ada tugas lain juga untuk mengelakkan pembaziran dalam satu, boleh kata pembinaan juga lah. Pembinaan ke benda-benda lain yang engineer buat. Lepas tu as professional engineer, they have to right to make key decision and lead project with responsibility. So pastikan kita ni sebagai engineer ni kenalah buat keputusan yang baik. Lepas tu kita kena lead satu projek tu dengan betul lah. Lepas tu using green technology dan sustainable ideas, engineer help reduce pollution dan make the world a cleaner and healthier place for everyone. Okay, sebagai engineer juga ni kita perlu memastikan teknologi yang kita guna dan idea yang kita ada tu boleh membuatkan masyarakat atau satu negara ni lebih membangun, lebih baik. Ini adalah reference yang kami berjaya dapat daripada sumber-sumber internet. Ini dia punya reference. Itu saja daripada kami. Terima kasih.